Sit up nice and tall through the spine. Take a moment to close your eyes, turn your gaze inward. Allow yourself a nice full breath in. Take in this moment. Be present. Exhale. Let go of what you don't need right here, right now. I must have opened classes with that sentiment 1,000 times, and it never gets old. Come to the mat, do your practice, be present. Try to set aside what you don't need in the present moment. Inhale, now lift the arms up to the sky, bring the palms together, exhale, right down through your center. Let's do it a few more times. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, release. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, release. Come over to all fours. In all fours, place the hands under your shoulders, knees under the line of your hips. Cow pose, drop the belly down, pull the chest through, lift your eyes, tailbone to the sky. Cat pose, round the back, press down through your hands and knees, drop the head. And then flow with this, just back and forth. No starting, no stopping. Just breath moving with the body. Change to downward facing dog. With the hips high, pedal out your feet. Shake the head a little bit, yes and no. Grip the earth underneath the finger pads so they stay solid and firm for you around all of the rest of the movement. Okay, lift the right leg up into the air, three-legged dog. Pull the knee to the nose, come forward and plank and hover. Again, inhale, lift the leg high. And pull the knee towards the opposite elbow, towards your left elbow, twist underneath. Inhale, lift the leg high. Now pull the knee towards your right elbow out to the side. Good, up and back. Set the right leg down. Lower your knees to the ground, child's pose. Tense your fingers, lift your forearms, elbows, upper arm bones to the sky. Breathe in, breathe out. Bring the hands behind your back for a moment to release the shoulders, forehead all the way down to the ground. Again, breathe in. Present moment, breathe out. Wonderful moment. Take the arms back forward. Come up and back, downward facing dog. Second side, lift the left leg high. Knee to nose, right down the center, hover forward into plank. Lift up and back, and then take it into the twist underneath. Up and back, so firing up core, Steadiness in the arms, take it out to the outside. And big range of movement in the legs right away. We lower it down. Ragdoll pose, walk your hands backwards to your feet. Hold on to your elbows and sway a little bit from side to side. Let yourself be, stay right there. Good, slowly roll up to standing. Walk all the way to the front end of the yoga mat. Arms reach down by your side. Mountain pose, Tadasana. Feel your steady base. Maybe rock forward onto the toes, a little back to the heels, over to one side and the other, so that you can return and find that center again. Practice is so much like that. You draw yourself off balance so that you can come back to present, to center. Okay, let's see if we can throw off balance so we can come back. Lift the arms up to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Surya Namaskar, A. Sun Salutation, A. Half lift. Step it back to plank. Lower down to the mat. Cobra, heel the chest up. Down dog, hips up and back. Look forward to your hands, step or jump to the front of the mat. Ardha Uttanasana is our half lift. Uttanasana, the forward fold. Stand, reach the arms to the sky. Palms to the center of the chest. Do it again. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Half lift. Plank. Chaturanga. Cobra or up dog. Downward facing dog. Look forward, step or jump to the front of the mat. Half lift and fold. Stand, arms to the sky. Palms to the center. Surya Namaskar, B. Bend the knees, sit into your thighs, Utkatasana. Exhale, fold over. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, step back, lower down, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Warrior one, step your right foot forward, spin the back heel down, come up, arms to the sky. Let's pause here for a breath in, a breath out, half a breath. And then on the exhale, lower the hands, step back and lower. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, down dog. Second side, left foot forward, back heel down, rise up, breathe here. Nicely done, lower the hands, step through and down. Cobra or up dog, down dog. Steady your pose, steady your breath. Look in between the hands. Exhale, jump forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, stand. One more time, I'll lead us through the breath. Exhale, fold. Inhale. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, dog. Inhale, warrior one, quick this time. Exhale, all the way down. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, dog. Inhale, left foot forward, warrior one. Exhale, chaturanga dandasana. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, dog. Let's take the whole 5 breaths associated with our traditional Surya Namaskar B. Third breath right here, breathe in and out. Fourth breath, breathe in, out. 5 times. Next breath, look forward, exhale, jump forward. Half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, Utkatasana as your chair pose. Exhale, stand, palms to the chest. Take a few breaths right here. Feel your heart beating, full of life. The presence of the practice is presence. Feel it all. Let's take it right into a standing balance pose. The easiest way to bring ourselves a little off balance is to try to stand on one leg. Bring your right foot onto your left leg, point the knee out to the side, the toes down to the floor in tree pose or Vrksasana. Arms overhead. Try palms together, cross at the thumbs today. Reach up as tallest as you possibly can be. And then we release arms, release the leg. Second side, bring your left foot onto your standing right leg. Leg can go anywhere, foot can go anywhere along the leg. Point the toes down again, try to point the knee out to the side. Give some pressure of the foot into the leg, and that standing leg presses right back into the foot to keep us finding our midline. Little push and pull right there. Arms overhead if you want to try that palms together again. It's that extra reach, really from the sides of the torso that's giving the height all the way up to the fingertips, so you can let the shoulders shrug up. That's where you get that height. So good, friends. Release it down. Shake out the legs. One more standing balance pose before we move along into 2 feet on the ground again. Lift your right knee up. Let's hold our hands underneath the thigh. Try to be straight up and down from your standing heel to the top of your head, and then just kick your foot forward. Any amount of 2 towards straight here as you try to kick straight ahead. Let's rebend the knee. We're going to stay on that side. Hold the front of your shin instead of under your thigh. Bring it up a little bit higher. Now, friends, I either want you to stay exactly as you are or try to reach down and grab your big toe and then stretch to or towards straight again. For our standing hand to big toe pose, Koundinyasana. Woo, bring it in, come on down, shake it out. Bobble around and then recenter. And we'll try those two forms of standing sage on the second side. Lift your left knee up, hold underneath your thigh. Now for this first option, I'm literally dropping my leg down into the clasp of my hands to feel that sense of weightiness. So if I were to let my hands go, my leg would just fall straight down. There's that much effort to stay. And then rebend the knee. Now the hands come to the front of the shin and lift it higher, deep flexion in that hip flexor. You can stay and work exactly like that. Or right hand comes to your waist, left first two fingers and thumb wrap around the big toe. Let's give it a go. Two are towards straight, right here. Straight out in front of you. Gaze past those big toes. We'll bring it back in and down. Release. Okay, take a wide stance on your yoga mat. If you like yoga blocks for your warrior, side angle, triangle poses, and you've got them handy, feel free to have them by your feet here. And then from that big wide stance, stretch your arms out as well. Turn your right toes towards the short end of the mat and bend your right knee. Good old warrior two, gaze out over the front fingertips. Really cement ourselves into these basic standing postures. I say basic because they're one of the first things we tend to learn in a yoga practice, right? How to keep ourselves upright, take up space, find the confidence within that. You stay with it, you breathe into it, you breathe from it. And then let's stretch a little more for extended side angle. Right hand can come to your thigh or hand down to the floor or block. Reach your left arm straight up to the sky for a moment, like it's pointing towards the 12 on a clock, and then look up towards it. I want you to keep that much opening across hips and shoulders, and then turn the palm towards the front end of your mat and send it overhead. Sort of like that tree pose balance, that extra reach should come mid to upper torso to give you a little bit more. Friends, stay firm in those legs and come back to warrior two. I am feeling that tension in my legs, and that can be a good thing. Really wake us up to stay present. Okay, let's straighten the right foot, right leg, turn the toes, head on over to the other side. Again, stretch your arms out, bend the knee, warrior two. Don't get ahead of yourself, don't lean forward here. Stay hips right and shoulders in line. Firm through the right glute, press through the right heel. That back side of the body representing past history, if you will. It's the best way to acknowledge our way forward. Stay and change course. So keep plugging into it, but then elbow to knee or hand down to floor or block for extended side angle pose. Top arm to the sky. Get towards the 12 on a clock first so that we can open up through the torso. And then you stretch more, palm down, reach over. And inhale. Pull it all back up. Feel the burn. You are alive. Straighten the leg. Turn the toes parallel to one another. Reach the hands down to floor or blocks. Think half lift here, like in our sun salutations. Extend from your hips out to the crown of the head. Stay as you are. With those hands dropped right underneath the line of the shoulders, bend your knees slightly. Take the right hand out to your side, trying to keep the hips pretty stable and square. Twist and take the right arm up to the sky so that it opens. Think like navel, belly button, all the way up through shoulders, arm, and hand. And then lower it down. This thoracic spine rotation. We're thinking more upper back work. I think is quite hard, even though that outer picture isn't as pretzely and complicated. I know you're working. You've got this. Stay with it. All right, let's bring both hands back down and then just walk your hands around to the front edge of your mat, feet back. Good old downward facing dog for us. Dog pose. Home base here. Always there for us to return, to balance into, to center with. Okay, much like we started, lift the right leg up into the air, three-legged dog. Pull the knee forward in between the arms and then send it up and back. A little quicker, take it into your twist and up and back. Same side and then up and back. Step all the way forward into a long, low lunge. Build your hands up the front thigh, lift your torso. Friends, can you make this back leg straight? Do that by hinging forward and press through the heel. Lie your belly all the way, squish it down to your thigh so that there's a bit of communication, upper and lower body helping each other out. Now there's of course the option to drop the back knee down for more stability. I'm asking you if it works to keep it lifted and straight. Take it into your twist, squish across, left elbow to the outside of the right knee, palms together. Push the top hand into the bottom hand. Tone and turn the abdomen, look to the side or even up to the sky here. And that deep, twisted lunge variation. Let's expel, release, release, release. Drop it all the way down and back to child's pose. Present enough to know what the release can hold for us here. Take it a few more breaths. And then stretch up and back to downward facing dog. Let's feel through it on the second side. Lift the left leg, three-legged dog. Right down the center. Again, a little quicker here. Lift up and back. Twist underneath. Up and back. Left knee and elbow touch. Up and back. Step the foot all the way through. Long, low lunge. Keep your feet hip distance apart as you walk it up. At first, sending your torso upright. Now, when we ask ourselves to have the back leg straight and the torso upright, it can be a lot. Squeeze in the glutes, and we've done it surely plenty of times. To give a little bit of relief today and to get more into that present twist, I want you to lean way, 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 way forward, which should make it easier to keep that back leg lifted and straight. You've taken the tension off of the spine in that extension, and instead we're going to play with it in the twist. Right elbow squeezes way over there to the outside of the left leg, palms together. Into this twist that I know you've all done before. Feel it brand new, present in this inhale, full in every exhale. Ooh, that's good stuff. Let's release it and go all the way back to child's pose again. To just really sit with the feeling. Expansion out of that twist. Okay, friends, back to downward facing dog. Then I move my blocks back towards the front short side of the mat so they're available here for triangle pose and for twisted triangle. That's what's coming up. Okay, I want to start on the left side. Lift your left leg high for me. Step it all the way through into your low lunge. Here's where left hand comes to the inside of your foot or underneath your block and spin your back heel down. Straighten your front leg, so 2 straight legs, and lift the top arm up towards the 12 on your clock for triangle pose. A little earlier in class, I was mirroring us in the poses. Not anymore. We've all got our left foot forward, right arm to the sky here. And then you're going to bring the top hand back to your waist. Look down at your left foot, rebend the knee so that you can change to lift the back heel up and flip the hands. Right hand takes a twist to hold on to the outside of the left foot. Again, I'm using my block. That right hand can also be down on the ground. And take a little hop in with the back foot. And then we go for 2 straight legs again. Pull the left hip, energy up, up, up towards the sky. And then the left hand can go up as well. In our twisted triangle position, 2 feet on the ground, but it's a big balance. Release all the way out of it. Make your way back to plank position. Lower down to the mat. Locust pose, Shalabhasana. Send your hands back. Lift everything that you can up. Lower it down. And then press all the way up and back, downward facing dog. Now this time, right leg up into the air should be your second side. Step it all the way through. Hands go to the inside, underneath a block there on that right hand as needed, wanted. Spin the back heel down. Straighten the right leg and lift the left arm to the sky. And triangle pose. Extended triangle pose is Utthita Trikonasana. That extension is the breath and the extension from the bottom hip out through the crown of the head. Keep it long and full. And then we switch it up. Bring the left hand down, look down at the right knee, bend. Rotate the hips so they're square towards the short side of your mat. Again, drag that back foot in so it's just a slightly shorter stance. And this time the left hand goes to the outside of the right foot. And the right hand tries to twist and lift all the way up towards the sky. Going back to 2 straight legs, pull the right hip up and back and the left hip around and down. Ooh, that's work. Be with it. One more breath. And then untwist out of it through plank position. And from your plank pose, lower it flat down to the mat. Reach the hands back, lift everything up, Shalabhasana. Lower it down, cocoon in for child's pose. Sometimes I think of this one as rock pose, just trying to find all of that superpower deep within, held inside. We'll take a moment here to stay low on our mat. So sit with your bum on the mat and extend your legs straight out in front of you. First 2 fingers and thumb grab hold of your big toe. This can be done with straight legs or with a bend in your knees to reach the hold. Think of a bow and arrow here and pull your right foot, I'm back to mirroring you, towards your right ear. And then release it back down. Do the same on the second side. Pull your left heel towards your left ear. Keep that aim steady and strong and release the foot back down. One more time, right side, pull it back. Exact same thing. And then lower it down. Left side, pull it back. And release it down. Release the hold, sit upright here. And take your right foot into a cradle position, holding either at your knee and foot, or forearms underneath our lower leg, or elbows around the foot and knee. Any of those 3 options, and then rock it. Let's set the right foot down to the outside of the left foot. Go for a twist again. Left elbow to the outside of the knee. Sit up really tall on the inhale. Still trying to press our belly into the thigh, so we're coming into that twisted leg. Look to the side or back. Inhale and untwist. Extend the leg. Take the cradle on the second side. Again, you've got those 3 choices. I do want our heel to be as high as the line of the shoulder if possible. You're either hooking to the forearms under the shin or elbows around the knee and foot for those second and third options. Rock it. Try to keep the heel lifted. You'll notice the higher you lift, the more intense the stretch might get through the outer hip. Push the big toe forward, pull the pinky toe back. Good, and we'll set it down into the twist. Foot on the floor, both sides of the bum. Right elbow to the outside of the knee. Pull your torso into the thigh and twist a bit. Inhale and come out of that twist. Extend the legs and give it a shake. We're building ourselves into a twisted arm balance. Let's lie down onto our back and play with it first on our back. Hug both knees into your chest. Straighten the arms up towards the sky, and then lift your head and shoulders off of the mat. Can you twist your lower body so that both knees go towards your right side? And you're having to work to balance here, not to totally fall over. But we're trying to get our right elbow somewhat close to the outer left thigh. Within that, try straightening one or two legs. Right leg goes straight out along the length of the mat. Left leg kind of heads up towards the sky, towards the right shoulder line. Koundinyasana. Bring it back in, hug the knees to the chest, and release. We'll do it on the second side as well. Straighten the arms, lift the head and shoulders off of the mat. Send both knees like you're doing a supine twist, but you're balanced in the air, over towards the left side, making your left elbow somewhat close to the outer right thigh. And you're either staying there or trying to extend one or two legs straight. Now when we flip this to hold our weight on the hands, we'll be asking the same. Notice how much your core is working right here. It's got to do the same for you when we put the weight onto the hands. Lower it down. Soles of the feet to the ground, head to the ground. Let the feet be wide and let the knees fall into each other. Bring yourself back to full presence with this inhale and exhale. Okay, I think we're ready to give it a go on our hands. Let's rock ourselves up to a seat, turn all the way over to downward facing dog. Of course, I'll give you some progressive options here. The first progressive option might be, hey, my hands, shoulders aren't going to deal with this today, so I'm going to stay on my back and do the same thing while everybody flips onto the hands. That's an excellent option if you're working with some spots that you need to keep a little bit more notice on through hands, shoulders. Okay, but here we are, downward facing dog. Lift the right leg up into the air, three-legged dog. Step it halfway up into a short lunge. And then cross the right foot to the outside of the left. Walk your hands back a step so that your foot and hands are almost in the same line. So that if you bend your knees, again, that right elbow can sit onto or really close to the left upper arm bone and shoulder. From there, the more that you lean your head down, the more the hips can lift up and the feet can lift. And then maybe one or both legs straighten out. Take everything down, release, and step it back to downward facing dog. To play on the second side, I'm going to ask you to do something slightly different. Instead of starting with three-legged dog so that you have a different option of entry, just walk the knees forward and sit your butt down onto your heels. Take the twist of the knees towards your right side. This looks a little bit more like what we started with on our back, so that your right elbow is to the outside of your left thigh. Now we see this in turned crane position, again with head more down and hips more up. You get that shelf, and then try to expand the legs, left forward, right back. Walk yourself out, back into downward facing dog. Set the knees down, sit back on your heels. Maybe bring the eyes closed. Ooh, that brings me off balance. I'm going to keep mine open and just steady there. Friends, I'm not going to lie, I've had a really, really hard week. And coming and doing some hard things on my yoga mat has been the biggest help. So that's why I'm pushing it a little bit for us today. Easier to stay present when the work here is a big ask. Easier to relax at the end when you're not having to do that big hard thing anymore. Okay, take it in, one more breath. And then I want you to give that a go one more time. So any of those options, from lying down on your back, we talked about 2 entry points from downward facing dog. You could do one or both sides. It's not the worst thing in the world to only do one side again. Yeah, so go for it, play with it a little bit. Maybe you want to work just on the turned position, a deeper twist. We're going back to the cradle to work on the opening in the hips. You've got so many choices. Clue in on one. Give yourself another 30 seconds. And when you're ready to release from that pose and move on, join me here in Baddha Konasana, either upright or over the legs. Baddha Konasana, soles of the feet together, knees out to the side. Again, no rush to get here. We're gonna stay in this position for a little bit. From all the cross, from the twist, from the straightening of the limbs. Now just fold in. As you press your soles of the feet together, knees out in either direction. Release through the inner thighs. Four more breaths in Baddha Konasana. And then bring your torso back upright if you're folded over. Knees to hug in. We're going to take it into wide stance again, so a seated, wide-legged position. I like to use the length of my yoga mat with my butt sitting at the back end and the heels trying to reach towards the top corners, something along those lines. It's also a good one to sit up on a block or to use blocks to reach the hands forward. So once you find your wide-legged position, walk the hands forward, forward, forward. If it's present to you, maybe you come down to the forearms or the forehead there. Take a little glance at each leg. Try to point the toes and the knees straight up towards the sky. They'll want to probably turn in or float out depending on your body. Best we can, alignment of the knees and toes straight up. And then walk both hands over towards the right side. Option to keep the torso turned down. Or open it up, think of that extended side angle with the left arm all the way up and over. Hips and shoulders trying to look more towards the side rather than curled down. If you're getting really fancy, since we've been doing that big toe hold a few times, you can grab hold of the big toe here with the left elbow pointed up, right elbow against the ground. All of this uncurls. Goes to the second side. Again, you're walking down. Keep the torso turned down. Or open it up. Again, if you're going towards that big toe hold, you're pushing your left elbow into the earth, right elbow trying to expand straight up towards the sky. Then everybody walk it back towards your center. Again, it might be hands. The dip of the pelvis trying to move forward like you're spilling out the bowl to the front, maybe to the forearms or lower, as your body allows, to the forehead. Then gradually build yourself back up. Help your legs to come in. Again, just a nice little hug and squeeze to neutralize. We'll make our way over to all fours and spin the right foot forward one more time. Kick the hips backwards to straighten the right leg so you're in your half split. Like in that twisted triangle position where the energy of the right hip or the front hip should be up and back. Same work here. Stay as you are in the half split or extend out, Koundinyasana. Walking the right heel forward and slowly tacking the left leg further back. Torso as much up and down over the hip line as works. Drag the right heel back in if you were extended in Hanumanasana. And we come around to all fours for all of us. And then shift left foot forward. Maybe sink down into the hip for a moment. Then kick the hips again up and back, flex the foot. And it's not just that the foot is flexed, we're really trying to pull everything back, square away in the hips. I have a wonderful hamstring stretch right in here. Choose to work and stay there. Or extend the left heel more forward and the right knee more back for Hanumanasana, your full split. Working there for just a few breaths today, then pull the heel back in. Circle everybody around to all fours. Wag the tail. One more downward facing dog right here. Change forward to plank pose, lie down, cobra, peel the chest up. Nice extension through the front side of the body there. And then let it all go down. Roll over onto your back. Draw those knees into your chest again. Supine twist, arms out to your T shape or bend at the elbows as you prefer. And send both knees over to the right side. This time they get to rest down. Again, you've poured yourself into the hard work. Stay present through it. Be present through the release and relaxation as well. You're worth it. You deserve it. Send the knees to the left side. Bring it all back into the center. Yogis, this is your time to add in any last bit of unwinding, any last asana prior to your form of shavasana or relaxation. Your choice. And from that pose or unwinding movement, come into a still position, whether that's lying on your back, your side, or in a seat. Stillness of body so that we can also experience stillness of mind while feeling the fullness of our breath. Slowly bring attention, awareness back, breath and body together. Bit of movement. If you're lying down, take your time to come back to a seated position. Once in that seated position, palms together, thumbs to the sternum. Friends, I have so much gratitude to each and every one of you for gathering together, for spending time on the mat, doing this practice for yourself. It's been a pleasure, and there will be more time to come. To take us through this transition of practice into the practice, off of the mat, the sound of Om. Sing with me, or listen, or tune it out. Empty the breath, and take a deep breath in. Again, in deep gratitude to you, each other, this practice. Thank you so much. Until next time. Onward.